It was the end of the summer, the day when finally Timur finished his summer adventures and was ready to see his family and friends. At that day, he was flying from the United States to Lithuania. He was going back to his university. Before his flight, he spent a whole day with his good friend. They were traveling to Washington, D.C. from place to place. He had a chance to visit the White House and several museums. And finally, it was time for the flight back home. It was a sunny day, a perfect day for flying. When he came to the airport, all of a sudden he saw clouds and rain with storm, thunder and lightning. He was surprised.
We see all of those, clouds coming at us, and the rain started. The storm has started, with all the thunders and lightning. And then I'm just like, how is this possible after a sunny day, after the whole thing that has happened? Like, how is this going on? And they were like, okay, we'll still fly, but maybe like 10 minutes and 15 minutes, but the storm is still going, and all the pictures we see, and it's raining, it's storming, like how you can fly in this kind of weather? And they're like, okay, we will land. They have put everybody in the plane.
The pilot and the crew were sure that nothing will happen because they already had experience in such weathers.
We're in the plane about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we hear the captain say, it's time for us to fly out. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not a professional, I never has flown, I'm not a pilot, but it looked like the weather was not fine. It was still raining, the storm, the lightning was still there. And they're like, okay, we have our schedule, let's do it and let's fly. 10 minutes in the flight, the flight attendant have explained where you need to go, the exit and all of that, where the mask will come out.
When release plan near towards it, deactivate the flow oxygen.
After 10 minutes of flight, something happened. People thought they were experiencing turbulence because the airplane was shaking.
And then all of a sudden, we hear nothing. Like literally nothing. No engines, no lights, nothing. It's just complete silence. And the plane goes down. Like, it was just after the moment when we were allowed to unbuckle our seats. And we go down. And I don't know, people just started screaming just from what has happened. They were like, what is going on? Like, for real. The flight attendants have just, told us that we can unbuckle our seats. And we go down. And then at some moment, you felt like it's a normal turbulence. We go up again. And then we go down again. And we don't stop going down. It's just like we fly down and we don't stop. People start screaming, and that was the first time when I ever heard in my life adults screaming so hard. People were unbuckled, so people started falling out of their seats. People started, rolling on the floor just because it was gravity that was taking us down, and there was nothing that was holding us back. I was afraid, and I wasn't screaming because I knew that, if something happens to me that day, I am going to be in heaven, and I know that God is there with me. But I was afraid for those people who didn't know Christ or didn't know God at that moment, and that they didn't know anything. How to be saved. They were scared. The terror, the horrificness of this situation was just, it was something that I have never experienced before. So there I am. I pray because this is the only thing that I can really do, because everything is out of my control. The engines, the pilot, the people, I can't control anything. I was still buckled. Just a side note, I never unbuckled because I like to sleep, and in the flight, it's important to be buckled. But people were falling and stuff was happening, and the flight attendants were trying to catch little kids and stuff to make sure that nothing bad happens to them. And then after 40 seconds of having no engines, no power holding us back, we fly the straight line again. And in a minute or so, pilot has made an announcement.
We lost one of our engines, but we are fine now.
Which has scared people even more. People start screaming, running around. customer service sucks and all of that kind of things has started being shot by other people, and they were also afraid to be, dead at that moment. And I didn't want this all to end. Like, I'm too young, but I know that my life, is a lot more than that. Maybe not, but God had a plan. And then the flight attendants have put everybody in place, and they have put, a nice reminder of buckle your seats now, and the lights were back, and the engines were back, and we were flying. The rest 9 hours of our flight was fine. Nothing has happened, nothing has, disturbed us or something like that. People forgot about that. I bet people have forgot about that. They were just like, okay, this happened. Yeah, it was happening. Later on, somebody explained me that maybe they didn't lose their engine. It was just the air pocket, and they have needed to do that. I don't know what was happening. People were scared, and people were afraid of death. And today, this is an important message, that we should not be afraid of death, because there is God who is offering a lot more after death than we imagine, and it's not just, emptiness. And that was the message that I wanted to communicate to those people, and I was praying about them so that they will get a chance at least once in their life to hear about God one more time. And that's what I'm trying to say to all of you, that the message is there. And isn't it great how everything has been solved? I'm not claiming that my prayer has saved all those people, but I do think and I do believe that God has saved all those people, and He's there for you and for me, and our life is amazing just because of Him.